Okay, so we're here with John Halperin, the executive producer of Explore. John, the show's airing on Sunday. What are your biggest hopes that our viewers gain from watching a show like Inside Guantanamo?
Well, I think that Guantanamo has become a symbol of a lot of things. It's really become the symbol of the last 8 years of the Bush administration. And this film, unlike any other film, book, anything about Guantanamo, actually takes people inside. And you get to witness for 3 weeks in the summer of 2008 what Guantanamo really is at that particular moment. I think it's a privileged view, and no one has ever seen it before until you watch this film.
You know, I mean, that's part of the great nature of this film. You know, National Geographic channels or television, excuse me, Inside Access. Can you go into a little bit about that? Like, did you find stories that your crew was telling you that you were just simply amazed at hearing, or can you guys believe that you guys got as much access as you got?
I mean, what I can tell you is that when I watched the footage for the first time, I had a visceral feeling I was watching sort of history in front of my eyes. And what was odd about it was over a fight over a towel, for example.
Oh, right. Yes, that's seen towards the latter part of the film.
Where a detainee has hung a towel over his cell door and guards are trying to take it down. And here you have policy, U.S. policy coming out of the White House, out of the Pentagon. You have international law. You have a war in Iraq, a war in Afghanistan, a threat of terrorism, talks of freedom, and administration sort of bending the rules of the Constitution. And it all comes down to these 18, 19-year-old kids, these guards, fighting with a man over a towel. And it was really profound. It was. I've never really seen that sort of policy in its widest thing come down to this action of these people trying to solve this problem. Wow. And it was, I think it's one of the great scenes in documentary.
Yeah, and I mean, you wrote the script, or essentially the story of this documentary, if that's the proper way to phrase it.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the striking things to me was there's a scene of this guard saying how he's having a conversation with a detainee about how 6 years ago he came there, but 6 months ago he was just there, but 6 years ago the guard was in middle school.
Yeah.
You know, is that the most amazing thing, part for you? I mean, because it was really telling to me that, there are, young men and women are 18, 19 years old,
yeah.
And those are the people that, are there.
They call it in the military the sharp end of the spear, right? The very front, the front line. And these kids, right, some of them were middle school during 9/11, are the ones interacting in an intimate way with these detainees. Some of them are, as Bush called them, the worst of the worst, who would, if released, would go back to killing, and some were innocent. And these kids basically have to deal with this complexity of different religions, languages, cultures of these detainees locked up, some of them for 7 years. And it's kids walking hallways, 12 hours a day, 15 miles back and forth, doing suicide checks every 3 minutes, who are basically the front line of U.S. foreign policy.
Okay. My final question.
Yeah.
Really, first word that pops in your mind when somebody says the word Guantanamo to you, what do you think?
Complex.
All right. Thank you, John.
I hope that was all right.
That was great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Awesome.
And if anyone's saying no, you just tell me.
Tell them what?
I'll tell them.